Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In today's session, we want to focus on system of equations. This is additional mathematics. So here is a question on the board. Solve the following system of equations. 6 marks. So what are we supposed to do when we're given such a question? We have many methods that we can use to solve system of equations in 3 variables. By 3 variables, I mean we have 3 unknowns which we're supposed to solve for. So we have a couple of methods that we can use. We can use matrices, we can use elimination method. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use substitution method. So let's begin and enjoy the show together. So in substitution method, you want to make one variable the subject of the formula, and you're going to substitute it in the other 2 equations. So to begin solving this equation, we're going to number the 3 equations as equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. So I have equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. I'm going to make one variable, could be x, y, or z, the subject of the formula. Once that is made the subject of the formula, it will be substituted in the other 2 equations. So the focus is on looking at the variable which is free. In other words, the variable which has a coefficient of 1 in front of it. These are free, x, z there. Which other one? So here we are focusing on x and z. Those could be much easier to be made the subject of the formula. So we can just make z the subject of the formula in equation 1 because it is much easier to make it. So what do we do? To make z the subject of the formula, z will just cross the equal sign there to become positive. Then 2 will cross the equal sign there, it will be negative. So what we're going to have there now is, you can see that z will be left alone. This will be equal to, when z goes there, it's positive. So what do we have there? We have 2x plus 3y. 2 was joined the other part, so we have negative 2 there. So you can see that z is now the subject of the formula. So once that step is done, the idea is we substitute z in equation 2 and equation 3. So let's just do that. So we start with equation 2. We're going to bring it down here. So we're going to have x minus 2y minus 4. Where there's z, I can just substitute with those items there. So what we're going to have, where there's z, I'll put 2x plus 3y minus 2, like that. Then everything equals 8. What do? We just simplify and have a simple equation here. So we're going to have x minus 2y. We open the brackets here. So when we open the brackets, negative 4 is multiplying whatever is inside. So negative 4 times 2x, that's negative 8x. Negative 4 multiplied by positive 3y, that's negative 12y. Negative 4 multiplied by negative 2, that's positive 8. And everything equals 8. So I can simplify this. So I just collect the like terms here. So x and negative x. So x minus 8x. Negative 2y and negative 12y. So negative 2y there minus 12y. You can clearly see that 8 will cross the equal sign there, becomes negative. So equals 8 minus 8. Simplifying this, we have x minus 8x, that's negative 7x. Negative 2y minus 12y, that's negative 14y. And equals 8 minus 8, that's 0. So we can see that we've gotten rid of the z term here. So we formed a new equation in 2 variables. We can just call this as equation A. So the other thing is we now get this z value and substitute it in equation 3. So we do exact same thing that we've done here. So here I have 3x. So you can see plus 5y plus 2. But where there's z, what do? I substitute with those items there. So I have 2x plus 3y minus 2. And you can see everything equals negative 7. So equals negative 7, like that. We do the same thing. We just simplify this. So 3x plus 5y. We multiply throughout by 2. You can see we're opening the brackets there. So 2 multiplied by 2x, that's 4x. 2 multiplied by 3y, that's 6y. Then we have negative 4 there equals negative 7. We collect the like terms as y's. So 3x and 4x. Then 5y and 6y. We can take negative 4 to the other side, it becomes positive. So we're going to have negative 7 plus 4 like that. So what do? We add here. We're going to have 7x. Then we have 11y equals negative 4 plus negative 7 plus 4, that's negative 3. You can see that even in this equation, we've gotten rid of z. So we're going to call this as equation B. So after achieving these two steps, the idea is to get equation A and equation B. We solve them simultaneously. So we're going to get these two equations. So we have this equation here and that equation. We solve them simultaneously. So let me just... So I get this equation and that equation, I solve them simultaneously. So I have negative 7x minus 14y equals 0. Then we have 7x plus 11y equals negative 3. So when it's like this, it's much easier to solve. We can simply add the two equations, or we can make the something the formula, but here it's not that easy. So the easiest method here is simply to add the two equations. Why are we adding? When I add negative 7x and 7x, you can see I'm going to have a 0, then I'm going to remain with the y term there. So what do? We're going to add these two equations. So I add there. So negative 7x plus 7x, that's a 0, so this term is out. Negative 14y plus 11y, what do we get? We get negative 3y. So we have negative 3y equals, we also add 0 plus negative 3, we get negative 3. So you can clearly forget about this. So all we have here is negative 3y equals negative 3. So to find the value of y here, we simply divide throughout by negative 3, negative 3. So you can see that y is equal to negative 3 over negative 3, that's 1. So y equals 1. So to find the value of x, we can get one of these equations and substitute in with the value of y. So I can get n of the equation. So let me get maybe the first equation. Negative 7x minus 14y equals 0. So where there is y, I put positive 1. So negative 7x minus 14, and I know y is 1, and everything equals 0. Negative 7x minus 14y, excuse me, negative 14 multiplied by 1, that's just negative 14, so this equals 0. So negative 7x equals negative 14, we cross the equal sign, it becomes positive. So we're going to have positive 14. What do? We divide throughout by negative 7 to get the value of x. So negative 7 there, negative 7 there. And x equals 14 divided by negative 7 is giving us negative 2. So we know the value of y, we know the value of x, and we also know that z, remember when we were just starting, we said z was equal to 2x plus 3y minus 2. Knowing the value of x and knowing the value of y, we can easily find the value of z. So we're going to say z equals 2. What do? Where there's x, we have negative 2 because x is negative 2. Plus 3, where there's y, we know y is 1. Minus 2, like that. We simplify this, z equals 2 multiplied by negative 2, that's negative 4. Plus, we have 3 there, then we have negative 2. Negative 4 plus 3, that's negative 1. Then negative 1 minus 2, that's negative 3. So z is equal to negative 3. So we can now conclude and say, therefore, x equals, the value of x is negative 2, y is equal to 1, and z is equal to negative 3. So you would have solved this system of equations and get those 6 marks. That's how you do it. Thank you. See you in the next video.